Hi guys, it's me again, your sister Joanne, and I am back with another video. Today I'm going to do a reaction video. It's going to be a flashback Friday, okay? So I'm gonna start doing those now. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed yet to my videos, to my channel, I would say please do so. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. I love reading your comments. And I'm going to do this reaction video on Michelle Obama. Remember the video that she made 2 or 3 weeks ago? That wonderful video? So I'm going to watch it with you guys. I did start to watch this video probably for 2 minutes and I was really upset. So I'm like, I'm not gonna finish watching this video now. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna do a reaction video weeks by weeks. I never had the chance to do it. But today, even though it's midnight now, I have to wake up around 6. I'm going to make this sacrifice for you guys. Okay? Just keep me in your prayers for God to give me courage and good health, for me to stay in prayer so I can do what I have to do. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for all your support. I love you.
Believe it or not, the election is right around the corner. Votes are already being cast. And if you're still deciding who to vote for or whether to vote at all, I wanted to take a moment to remind you what's at stake and to urge you to make a plan to vote today. Because let's be honest, right now our country is in chaos because of a president who isn't up to the job. And if we want to regain any kind of stability, we've got to ensure that every eligible voter is informed and engaged in this election, because the stakes are on display every day, not just in the headlines, but in our families. If you're a parent like me, you're feeling the consequences of this president's failure to take this pandemic seriously, from his constant downplaying of the importance of masks and social distancing to his relentless pressure on schools to open without offering a clear plan or meaningful support to keep students.
So basically, the way Michelle is talking, it's like us black people, we don't know who to vote for. They have the Democrat Party, they have to constantly remind us that we do have to vote for Democrat, we do have to vote for Biden and Harris. Because Trump, obviously, he's really bad. Look at the pandemic. I wonder what they would say if the pandemic didn't exist. If the pandemic wasn't around, what would they say? And it seems like she's criticizing the President Trump because he was mandated the students to be in class instead of online classing. And I saw a few comments back probably around September or August. Even teachers, I have family members, they are teachers, they said it's chaos. You know, it's chaos. Class doing class um students in class, they learn better than online. They're not really focusing on learning when they are at home, playing all these distractions around. Let me keep watching. Let me stay quiet.
Students and teachers safe. Look, our daughters are in college now, and luckily they're taking classes from home this semester. But in just a few weeks since schools have resumed, many of their friends who returned to campus have either tested positive or are living with someone who has. Yes, it's
So is it Trump's fault if someone has COVID? Does Trump has the control of the coronavirus? I shouldn't say that. Does Trump has the control of what's going on now? Does he have the control, Michelle? Did your husband has the control of the what's the name of the flu? What's the name of it again? I can't remember. Wow, I can't remember. If I remember now, I'm gonna talk about it. Did he have the control of it? He's not God. He can protect everyone. You guys just want to control people with the mask, COVID, COVID, COVID. That's all you guys talk about. That's the only three things you guys talk about. Two, I would say. All you talk about is COVID, Black Lives Matter, and what else? There's a third thing. I can't remember. Why am I forgetting things now? Oh, he's racist. He's racist. He doesn't care about black. He doesn't want to say Black Lives Matter, and he doesn't want people to wear masks. Right? These are the three things you guys accuse him of. And if I had to go to Biden's list, the list will go on and on and on and on, longer than a toilet paper. Let me keep watching, okay?
Anecdotal, of course, and everybody wants their kids back in school as soon as it's safe. But as a mom, it is frightening thinking about all these young people who were just our babies yesterday.
You talking about young people, Michelle? Isn't these young people who are on the street looting, burning stuff? Black Lives Matter? On these the young people you are talking about? Come on now. People can do grocery shopping. They can go anywhere, go partying. They can go protest on the street, but they can go to school. What are you talking about, lady? Are you for the people? Let me keep watching. Let me calm down.
Quarantine alone in dorms or apartments with little or no support as the disease continues to spread, unable to come home if their symptoms get worse.
What kind of the support are you talking about, Michelle? You know so well that people who diagnosed with COVID, they have 99% chance of surviving. Why don't you talk about that? All you do is installing fear in the American people. That's all you do. That's all you guys do. It's like that's what you get paid for. Us Christians, we know. We know. Mm, we let me calm down.
Just imagine the toll that worry is taking on families across this country. Yes, thankfully, there's some relief in knowing that most cases in young people are mild. And I pray every day that no one faces longer term consequences to this disease. But the truth is, we just don't know yet. And we simply cannot trust this president to tell us the truth about anything. Meanwhile, parents with young
What truth are you looking for? His taxes? His ex-wives? You knew about them. What truth are you looking for? I think Trump is very outspoken. Trump is very open compared to Biden. Everything is up after the election. For justice, it's after the election. Ice Cube, he tried to sit down with Joe Biden and Harris. They said, no, we have to talk after the election. So basically, they don't want to help the black people. They don't want to help anyone, either you're black or white. They don't want to help you until they know they are in power, until they know they have power. That's all they care about. If they really care about people, they will meet with them and said, okay, we have a plan. That's what we're gonna do, if we win this election. They didn't even give the guy a chance. But Trump did, right? We see 50 cents. We see the light skinned kid or white, I don't know, with the tattoos. I don't remember his name, but I remember his face. And today, as I'm speaking, October 29th, now it's the 30th. Lil Wayne just endorsed President Trump for the same thing as Ice Cube. So what what truth are you looking for? If anything, you should tell us the truth, Michelle. You know a lot. You know a lot, you and your husband. You guys know a lot. Why don't you tell the truth to the American people? We deserve the truth.
younger kids are dealing with another set of stresses, from grade schoolers who want to learn but struggle to connect with their teacher through a screen, to schools that open and close with little advance notice, leaving everyone in an in.
Can Trump take can Trump control those things? Isn't it almost the same thing as the flu? The flu kills way more people than COVID. Why don't you talk about that? That's crazy.
Endless cycle of uncertainty. Too many parents are still juggling two jobs and multiple kids without any support. Not to mention the
Isn't it normal? It's been going on for ages. A lot of parents they work two jobs to have a better education for their children. Is it something you, Michelle? Is it because of the COVID parents started to have two jobs now? Is that what you are saying?
millions of families anxious about making rent or getting internet access or affording childcare. It's painful to think
Isn't it the same thing? So basically, you want people to be on welfare. Is that what you are talking about? You don't want black people, mostly black people, I would say. I know not most people are, most the percentage of people who are on welfare are not black people. The highest percentage is white people. But the way you make it seems like it's like black people have to vote for Democrats so they can be on welfare, so they can pay their rent, provide food for the family, do all these things. So you don't want people to like get a job, get educated, so to be dependent, to be a billionaire, to build their own business, build their own wealth for their children and their great grandchildren. What happened to prosperity, Michelle? What happened to that? Does it still exist in your vocabulary? What happened to that? You see, with you and your husband and all these people, if you guys did talk to the people, the community, tell them to stop looting, stop burning the country. You guys were just president. You know what it seems like. If you really truly love your country, that's what you would tell them to stop doing those things. They're not gonna bring peace. You know, that's not what's gonna bring peace. Now defunding the police is a thing. You know, black on black crime is way higher than police killing in the community. You know that. You know that better than I do. You're older than me. You were the first lady. You know all that. I I don't know. You see, I keep pausing the video because I see too much lies. I have to speak up. I have to talk.
that months into this crisis, this is still where we are, with no clear plan, no peace of mind. And the worst part is, it didn't have to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Look around the world. So many other countries aren't experiencing this level of extended suffering and uncertainty. These countries were hit by the same viruses we were. They had the same kind of resources to contain it as we did. But what they didn't have to contend with was this president, a man who had every resource at his disposal, the finest medical experts, our best intelligence, and yet ignored all the advice and failed to produce a plan to provide enough tests for worried families or protective equipment for our healthcare workers. A man who knew how deadly this virus is, but who lied to us and told us it would just disappear. Who, in the greatest crisis of our lifetimes, doubled down on division and resentment, railed against measures that could have mitigated the damage, and continues to hold massive events without requiring masks or social distancing, knowingly exposing his own supporters to a dangerous virus.
Did you say supporters, Michelle? Did you say supporters? So basically, the way you're talking, if I understand really well, since English is my second language, so the virus only affect the Trump rally. Is that what you're saying? Please tell me all. Is that what you're saying, lady? So the protesters, Black Lives Matter, the Antifa, when they are protesting, the virus does not exist, right? It just vanished.
Today, more Americans have died from this virus than died in the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, and Korea combined. Take all those.
Stop right there, lady. That's not true. Look at that look on her face. Look at her eyes. So evil. It's like, look at her. Look at her face. You can see the evilness in her face. No. You know what kills more people? Abortion. Mm-hmm. Let me keep going now. That.
Those lives bravely sacrificed and double it. That is roughly the scale of this tragedy. And our commander in chief, sadly, has been missing in action. And his willful mismanagement of the COVID crisis is just one example of his negligence. When wildfires rage out west, he says nothing for weeks. When Americans of all backgrounds peacefully protest racism and police violence,
Did you say peacefully? Peacefully, Michelle. I don't know what peace means to you. Seems like what peace means to you and your people does not mean the same thing to me as my people. Okay? When I say your people, like people who support you, who are on your side. When I say my people, people who support Trump, who, people who have the same values as me. What does peace mean to you? Peaceful protesting? Are you for real? Why don't you talk about all these children who are dying in Chicago, Georgia? Why don't you talk about them? All the shootings in the community. Just count it on your fingers. From May until today, how many people did um the cops killed? How many black people? How many people killed? And count on your fingers and your toes. How many people were killed from May until now by the protesters in Antifa? Tell me. Thank you.
he disparages them, yet eggs on heavily armed militias. When our heroic young men and women answer the call and give their lives for our country, he calls them suckers and losers and
Did he really say that? I would love to hear the tape. Put it on your website, okay? Thank you.
publicly mocks Gold Star families and prisoners of war. All this from someone who, as a wealthy, connected young man, avoided military service. And with millions and millions of Americans left reeling from the worst job losses in recent history, with small businesses closing their doors for good, he and his party dragged their feet to provide necessary relief for people whose lives have been decimated under his watch. 7 months later, he still doesn't have a plan for this virus. 7 months later, he still won't wear a mask consistently and encourage others to do the same.
Well, 7 months later, Trump is not God. I believe the virus is a plague, for all the things we have done. God used it. The enemy thinks they were gonna use it against us, but God used it for his own glory. You know, Trump is not God. He can't control that. And now you're talking about masks. Thankfully, Trump has COVID, and by God's grace, he survived. He survived it. So stop installing fear in people. I'm not saying COVID is a good thing. People have to take precautions. Please take precautions all you can, okay? But it's not deadly, guys. Like they said, it's not deadly. It's not gonna kill you. Just be careful. But there are more people who survive the virus than those who die from it. Do your research.
Even when those simple actions could save countless lives. Instead, he continues to gaslight the American people by acting like this pandemic is not a real threat. And yet, even in the face of all this incompetence, Americans keep digging deeper, finding new reserves of strength, doing whatever it takes to get through this. That's one of the beautiful things that has given me hope over the past 4 years. Our country's resilience, from the essential workers keeping us safe, to the doctors and nurses caring for our loved ones, to the teachers and childcare workers doing everything they can for our kids. Americans have stepped up to answer the call. It's not too much to ask our leaders to rise to the occasion as well. Thankfully, we have the chance to elect a president who can meet this moment, a leader who has the character and the experience to put an end to this chaos, start solving these problems, and help lighten the load for families all across the country.
I really do hope, excuse me, I really do hope you're not talking about Biden. Because Biden has been in office for 47 years. He has done nothing. Oh, didn't he the one who passed the crime bill to keep black people in jail? Oh yeah. And he didn't want his kids to go in the jungle. Oh yeah. And black kids are as smart as white kids, right? I hope you're not talking about Biden. And this man has dementia, you know it. He's incapable. He's incapable of leading this country. We know your plan. I hope everyone knows your plan too. But God will choose the right person.
And that leader is Joe Biden. After seeing the presidency up close for 8 years,
But that's his third time running for president, right? If I'm right. If he didn't win the last two times, who makes you think he's gonna win this time? Isn't he like 70 years old? Now he has dementia. He forgets almost everything. Sometimes he even forget his wife's name. Let's keep it up.
maybe the most important thing I've learned about the job is this: how a president focuses their time and energy in office is a direct reflection of the life they've lived before entering the White House. A president's policies are a direct reflection of their values. And we're seeing that truth on display with our current president, who has devoted his life
Oh yeah, I see that. I don't know what you're gonna say next. I see that, and he has devoted the rest. I wouldn't say the rest of his life. He's has devoted this time to help the American people. We see that. Thank you for reminding us.
to enriching himself, his family, and other wealthy people he truly understands, cutting taxes for the rich and big corporations,
Of course, he has to cut taxes for the rich. Do you know what you're talking about? Who's creating the jobs? Oh man.
cutting regulations that protect regular families from getting taken advantage of by people like him, cutting his friends loose from prison time. He
Cutting his friends? Wow. 4,000 people were released from prison for what is it called, clemencies? I don't remember how to say it. 97% of those people were black people. And I remember one of the people, a guy had a life sentence in prison and he was released. I can't remember his name. He served 24 years in prison. I really can't remember his name. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to say things that I'm not sure of. But are you for real now? Let me keep.
boast about gains in the stock market. But when you look at the lives of regular folks, whether it's creating blue collar jobs, making healthcare more affordable, protecting the environment, keeping our families safe from gun violence, let alone the coronavirus, there's nothing much to brag about.
Did you say uh, keeping our families safe from the gun violence? How, Michelle, when you defund the police, when you don't talk about black on black crimes, when you don't talk about crimes in the community, when you support burning, looting, and all these crazy things? How? You really think we are stupid? Black or white, we are not stupid. I feel like a lot of people, especially black people, they only voted for you and still love you because you are black. Your husband was black. It's not because they really know what they're talking about. They don't do any research. If they only knew, if they only knew. It's crazy. And some white people, they still say, "Oh, I love Barack, I love Michelle." It's because they want to be cool. They want people to say, "Yeah, I'm not racist. You see, I love Michelle, I love Obama." They don't know. They do it by ignorance, and some people they probably have good intentions too. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of them they feel bad, they feel guilty, but that's not the way it should go. Look at her face. You can see the lies.
By contrast, Joe Biden has lived his life guided by values and principles that mirror ones that most Americans can recognize. I know Joe. He is a good man
Ooh,
who understands the struggles of everyday folks.
really?
When he was a kid, his dad lost his job. His family had to move to find work. As a young man, he quit his job at a lucrative law firm to serve as a public defender, protecting the rights of those who couldn't defend themselves. He continued to serve this country even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, losing his wife and baby daughter, later in his life, his eldest son, relying on his deep faith in God to carry him through, never growing cynical, and always willing to see the humanity in us all. It is that spirit, that determination that will make Joe the kind of president we need right now, one who will continue to put the needs of the country before his own, to ensure that all families can get back on their feet and our economy can get back on track. And he'll start by getting this virus under control, working with a broad coalition of leaders to develop a national strategy that will include mandatory mask wearing and free testing. He'll get schools the resources they need to sort through this confusion. He will listen to doctors and scientists to make sure that any vaccine will be safe, effective, and available to everyone. And Joe Biden will also get back to work solving problems that this president has ignored or made worse these past 4 years. Joe will give working families a tax credit for childcare. He'll roll back those tax cuts for the rich and instead help small businesses and working families. He'll lower the cost of prescription drugs and give every American access to affordable health coverage. He'll work to restore trust between police and communities of color and address the racial discrimination that has plagued us for far too long. He will protect our planet. He will invest in our schools and bring people together to get something done, even across our differences. And we can trust Joe Biden to name Supreme Court justices who follow in the footsteps of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, judges who understand that justice and equality aren't theoretical ideas, but concrete matters that affect our health.
Sorry, Michelle, you're late on that one. The judge, the justice, nah, Amy's already there. This seat has been taken. Sorry, girl.
Care, our livelihoods, and our bodies. This is the kind of leader our nation deserves. A leader who is tested and ready to dive right in. A leader who will lock arms with his terrific running mate, Kamala Harris, and bring us out of this downward spiral. A leader who will help heal this nation, and instead of tearing people apart, he will bring people together.
If anything, Michelle, you are the one who's tearing people apart, causing divisions. Like if someone disagree with you guys are very upset, ready to fight, ready to do anything. Compared to us, I'm not gonna say us. I mean, like I know for myself and a lot of other conservative I know, we don't get upset when someone disagree with us. If anything, we tell them to do their own research. You want to support Biden, that's you. Everyone has the right to choose who they want to vote for. It's their God-given right. But others, they insult conservative when they say they don't want to vote for Biden. They call us name and all that. If you wanted the country to be united the way you said you love the country. You will talk to the young people, talk to the black community. You know they will listen to you because you have a powerful voice, you and your husband and your people. You know they will listen to you, but you prefer to use them for the election in a way to make Donald Trump look bad so you guys can win the election. But if God is for us, who can stand against us? That's all I'm gonna say.
together. It's a simple choice, really. A chance for a fresh start or 4 more years of this. But let's be very real. America is divided right now, and a lot of people are being sold lies from those who want to get rich or stay in power, or sometimes both. And as I've said before, we must all empathize with those who might not look like us or vote like us. We have got to put ourselves in one another's shoes. Look, think about it. You've worked hard all your life, and for too long you've watched the rich get richer. You've lost your farms and your livelihoods to corporate greed. You've seen your beloved towns shattered by joblessness. You've watched families destroyed by drug addiction and mental health challenges. All of this long before this virus hit. And it is frustrating to hear some folks say that you've been the beneficiary of privilege, that the color of your skin gives you a head start. That is the reality for far too many hard-working, decent Americans. But right now, the president and his allies are trying to tap into that frustration and distract from his breathtaking failures by giving folks someone to blame other than them. They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. It's true. Research backs it up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations
I don't know what a tiny fraction means to you. Obviously, it doesn't mean the same thing to the majority. It doesn't mean the same thing to us. You've got to make another video to show us what a tiny fraction means to you, okay? Thanks in advance. Oh,
have had any violence at all. So what the president is doing is once again
oh, and I forgot. We can see everything with our own eyes. So basically, we don't have to listen to researchers to see what the research say. We don't care about researchers. We can see with our own eyes. We can do our own research. Okay? We have everything to do our own research. We don't want to hear what other people have to say. We want to do our own research. We want to see things with our own eyes. We hear things. We see things. We know what's going on. No need to hide anything. That's not peaceful. You know that.
patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist. But that doesn't mean it won't work.
What are you talking about? It is racist. Okay, what's racist? So you guys, the left always use the word racist in a way to make black people feel inferior. Like if you're black, no matter how hard you try, you will never be anything. They will always give good jobs to white people even if they're disqualified. That's not true. If I was a boss, if I have two candidates, one white, one black, even if the black one is more qualified, if I like the personality of the white one more, if he looks like he's more friendly, I see he has the quality, he has what I'm looking for, even if he doesn't have the even if he has the education that I'm looking for, if I needed a master's, he has a bachelor, I will take him because he can still train, he can still learn. If he has, I mean, like it, I, you always use the word racist because black people are so sensitive to that word. They always blame everything on race, 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 skin color. Oh, I didn't make it. I didn't get this part of the movie because I'm black. It's not. It's not always true. I mean, sometimes it might happen, but it's not always true. I mean, like, if this country is so racist, how did you get to be in office with your husband for 8 years? How? And you know, most people in this country are white. You know that, right? Most of them. We are only 13%. Only 40 million of us are black. We would have been better if we didn't kill our children. You know that, our unborn babies. You know that? Man, let me keep watching.
Because this is a difficult time, a confusing time. And when people hear these lies and crazy conspiracies repeated over and over and
Oh, crazy conspiracies now, right? Because you don't want people to know the truth. People are started to do their own research now, so they know it's not always conspiracies anymore. We can tell the truth conspiracies when we can see it with our own eyes, when we have the proof. You know, I know why you guys are scared. You don't want Trump to stay in office. I know. Sometimes I have to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I have to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I have to keep my mouth shut. Is it shout or shut? I don't know. I can't remember how to say that. Guys, English is my second language. Sometimes I forget words. So, anyways, let's go.
over again, they don't know what to think. With everything going on in their lives, they don't have time to fact check falsehoods being spread throughout the internet.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? No wonder you guys fast check, fact check everything we put online. We censorship on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every social platforms. I don't know if the left pay them, all these big tech media, I don't know if they get paid. I don't know how do they do that. They're always checking everything that people pay. We should have freedom of speech. The same way people have the right to write any kind of articles about Trump, we should be able to do the same thing. If not, that's not fair. Why do they always put conservative in Twitter jail, Facebook jail, Instagram, TikTok? But the same thing doesn't happen to liberals. It doesn't happen to the left, just us. If you are a conservative, you're watching now, you better start planning with your friends, families, anyone, co-workers, to see if we can come up with something, if we can come up with our own platforms. Because one day, let's say 20, not even 20 years, one day we will not be able to write anything on social media. We will not be able to post anything because they will know. They don't want people to know the truth.
And even reasonable people might get scared.
Mm.
And the one thing this president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies.
Look who's talking. So now all these things you're describing, you're basically describing you in the left. That's the truth. Who's spreading the fear? COVID fear, racism fear, gun violence fear. Who's doing all that, Michelle? Is it Trump or you? If anything, Trump is trying to bring peace, is trying to unite the people. But you guys stand in one thing: no justice, no peace. Since when did violence conquer violence? What happened to love? What happened to forgiveness? I mean, like, even when you were in office, the young kid died. Zimmerman, Trayvon killed Zimmerman. This guy, is he still living? Did he go in jail? I don't remember. He's not behind bars now. And other black people were killed when you guys were in office. What happened to the officers? What happened to those people? Did you guys bring justice to these families? Nothing new under the sun. Don't blame everything on Trump. Like, just because all these things are happening, it's Trump, 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 Trump. Come on, man.
To win. Look, I get it, but I also feel it. As a Black woman who has, like the overwhelming majority of people of color in this nation, done everything in my power to live a life of dignity and service and honesty, The
Honesty?
knowledge that any of my fellow Americans is more afraid of me than the chaos we are living through right now, well, that hurts. It hurts us all. It is a heaviness that sits on our hearts. So I want to appeal for some empathy here too. I want everyone who is still undecided to think about all those folks like me and my ancestors, the
Here we
moms and
go.
dads who worked their fingers to the bone.
Here we go again with the ancestors, with the past. Are we living in the past right now, Michelle? We are in 2020, right? Not too long ago, you were in the office. You see, that's what I don't understand with some black people. They make it. They have success, but the way they talk, they always try to talk to the mass like they are victimized, they are victims, like they are still struggling in some type of stuff. Like they, you guys are successful politicians. You guys had it- you guys had it all. You guys are very successful. So why installing fear in people just because they are black? Now you're talking about ancestors. You want people to hold back to the past. Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
To raise their kids right. The teenagers who wear hoodies while working hard to get their diplomas. The millions of folks who look like me and
Mhm.
fought and died and toiled as slaves and soldiers and laborers to help build.
Really? Now you're talking about slavery, 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 slavery. There was slavery almost everywhere around the world, Michelle. The Jews, they were slave to Egypt. They were slave almost everywhere. Us black people were not the only one who were slave. So you always try to use the past to make black people feel like they can never achieve anything. White people will always be on their way, and you trying to act like you are crying, like you are hurt, like you don't have the what how can I say that? You don't have the I can't remember the word.
This country. Put yourselves in our shoes for just a moment. Imagine how it feels to wake up every day
Mhm.
and do your very best to uphold the values that this country claims to hold dear: truth, honor, decency, only to have those efforts met by scorn, not just by your fellow citizens, but by a sitting president. Imagine how it feels to have suspicion cast on you from the day you were born, simply because of the hue of your skin. To walk around your own country.
Anyone who's watching this now, like Amy Odom said, I think that's his name, don't listen to these people. If you are black, white, nothing can stop you, especially for my black people, because you guys always think you cannot do anything, you cannot make it. Nothing can stop you. The only one who can stop you is yourself. Look at Michelle. Look at Obama. Look at Oprah. Look at James. And a lot of time they make black people, especially young people, feels like if you are not an athlete, if you don't play sports, if you are not a model, if you are not in Hollywood singing or an actor, you will not make it to this country. That's not true. What happened to black successful businessmen, lawyers, doctors, all these things? What happened to them? That's why a lot of you black people, you are super hyper when you see a black billionaire, when you see a black businessman, when you see all black stuff that you guys are not used to, because they make us believe that if we are not If we are not doing certain things, we will never make it to this country. That's why you guys always say support black business. Like if black business make good product, if they give good customer service, there's no need to tell people to support black business. Like people will pay the money for what they love, for what they like. We will not pay money just for anything. I myself, sometimes I go to black places like black restaurants. The customer service sucks. They yell at you. They don't say thank you. They're not smiling. They always look, they always look angry. You guys need to like work on yourself. No wonder the Asian people, the Chinese, they are doing better in certain things than us. We need to work on that. And no one can stop you. Remember that. Don't think you are a victim. You're not. The only one who can stop you is yourself. So if you're good at creating contents, you are good at bio, whatever you are good at, just use it for the glory of God, and He will bless it. Even if you are not a Christian, if you work hard in this life, it's rewarding. Hard work pays off, okay? Especially for you young kids who are watching right now, you can do anything. You can do anything.
Scared that someone's unjustified fear of you could put you in harm's way. Terrified of what 4 more years of this kind of division might mean for the safety of you and those you love. Living with the knowledge that no matter how hard we try, how much good we do in the world, there will be far too many who will never see our humanity, who will project on us their own fears of retribution for centuries of injustice and thus only see us as a threat to be
That's what
restrained.
you're doing.
And we know what happens next. A racial slur from a passing car, a job promotion that never comes, a routine traffic stop gone wrong, maybe a knee to the neck. Racism, fear.
Maybe a knee to the neck, right? What the guy did, the officer who killed George Floyd, was horrible. Some police officers, they are racist. Some of them, they abuse their power. I understand that. That is true. I would say it's something like that happens in every um professions. You will always find some good ones, some bad ones. That doesn't mean all of them are bad. But you have to encourage our people, black, white, when a police stop you, please cooperate. I'm not saying that's gonna save them 100%, but it can avoid certain things, certain incidents. If they said, put your weapon away, like the guy who just died, I don't remember his name. He had a knife in Pennsylvania, I think Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, I'm not sure. He was warning, apparently, he was warning after, I might make a video about it. He was warning after the officer with the knife. That's very unsafe. You have to tell people, please, if they stop you by accident, just comply and then see how things gonna go. Don't fight the police. Don't fight on the street. Fight them in the court. You have to encourage them to do those things. Either you're white or black, it's still dangerous. And like you say, black people are more likely to die from it, which is not true, but it is what it is. But please, whoever is watching this, be careful out there, guys. Be careful. Be careful.
Fear, division. These are powerful weapons, and they can destroy this nation if we don't deal with them head on. So I want to ask every single American, no matter what party you normally vote for,
Mm-hmm.
to please take a moment to pause, click off the news, think about how you felt over these last 4 years, how quickly things have turned. And then think about what the next 4 years could mean for our country's future. The message we will send to our children about who we are and what we truly value. Think about what would possibly compel you to accept this level of chaos, violence, and confusion under this president and be willing to watch our country continue to spiral out of control. Because we can no longer pretend that we don't know exactly who and what this president stands for. Search your hearts and your conscience, and then vote for Joe Biden like your lives depend on it. Look, you all know that politics has never been my thing. But to all the young people out there, to all the Black and brown folks, to anyone who feels frustrated and alienated by this whole system, I get it. I really do. But in the face of all of the frustration and alienation I've experienced throughout my life, never once have I considered not voting as a viable option. Not once have I thought about foregoing a right and privilege that so many before me fought and died for. Not once have I let someone else's ignorance and hatred keep me from doing my duty as a citizen. Because I know we don't have the luxury to assume that things are going to turn out okay. We cannot afford to withhold our votes or waste them on a protest candidate. One of these two men will be president.
That's for
And
sure.
only if we vote for Joe Biden with power and with passion will our voices even have a chance at being heard. Because folks who are perfectly content with the status quo, who are quite happy with what's been going on these past 4 years, trust me, whether they say it out loud or not, they will vote too. So we can expect that this election will be won by the slimmest of margins, just like 4 years ago. A handful of votes per precinct in Pennsylvania or Arizona or Wisconsin or Florida or anywhere else will make all the difference. So we have got to make our plan to vote this instant. We've got to vote early so we have the peace of mind to know that our vote for Joe Biden is in the bank. We've got to go to iwillvote.com right now to request our absentee ballots and send them back immediately, or take them to a drop box or an election office. If we choose not to vote by mail, we've got to find out where and when we can vote early in person and show up the minute they open their doors. We've got to set aside time to vote on Election Day so that we don't get too busy. And we've got to reach out to others, starting in our own backyard. As I like to say, we got to tend our own gardens. That means reaching out to all those folks who we might not be able to count on voting. You know who they are, the folks who might not be as tuned in as we are. Make sure they request their ballots too. Make sure they know where their polling location is. Take them with you to vote if you need to. And make sure you text BELIEVE to 30330 to get involved today. Work like this may not feel as impactful as attending a protest, but trust me, it is absolutely the most important thing that we can do right now to save our democracy. It's simply what needs to be done. And that's what we've been doing for months, just getting the job done. No matter the stress, no matter if something feels out of our control, because that's who we are as Americans. That is what we do. And right now, we've got a chance to start getting things back under control, to restore some stability and integrity and soul in this country. It is within our grasp. And that's what keeps me going. Thinking about a time not all that far off, with a new president in the Oval Office, a trustworthy, honest, stable leader with a clear plan for controlling this virus and getting our economy back on track, with meaningful support for families and schools, with competence and maturity instead of chaos and confusion. It is possible. It really is, but only if we vote for Joe Biden in this election. We have all been working so hard to keep ourselves and our families afloat, and we deserve a president who will do the same. Thank you for listening. God bless.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Wow. I never actually chose these people. But after this video, if I was a Democrat, I would definitely vote for Trump. If you want change, especially for you guys who are born again Christians, if you want your freedom of religion, if you want to keep your biblical values, if you love your country, if you love America, even if you're an immigrant, if you love this country, you've got to vote for Trump. And some people might say, you are from Haiti, you are an immigrant. Trump is racist. He called Haiti a asshole. Put the tape on your website and I will listen to it, okay? Put it. I believe all these things were made up anyways. But it's crazy. This election is very important, guys. Please vote for Trump. Don't vote for Biden. These people are very corrupt. You see, you see, even in the media, they never talk about Hunter. They never talk about the emails, the laptop. This will be another video, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really hope you watch this video. Let me know if you're interested in these videos. If you want me to make more, I do plan on making more, but it depends on how you guys react to it. If you guys like it, I will make more. If not, I guess I'm not gonna make any more, But yeah, thank you so much again, guys. I love you. Jesus loves you more. And take care. Have a great day. Today is Friday, October 30th. I think I might upload this video today, so I'm gonna have my husband edit the video for me. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Love you.